morning, my name's Sally and I'm from Livingstone Shire Council. Today is online story time. We've got a really special one today because I'm reading one of the 12 stories written and published by State Library of Queensland on behalf of First Five Forever. Today's story is The Cow That Swam Out to Sea. I would like to do an acknowledgement of country. You could do it with me. Here is the land. Here is the sky. Here are my friends and my other friends. And here am I. Libraries are a wonderful space for families. Everyone is always welcome. And at your library you can find so many wonderful stories, including 12 of these stories written by State Library of Queensland on behalf of First Five Forever. This is only one of them that we're going to read today. We hope you enjoy. The Cow That Swam Out to Sea. Written by Pamela Rushby, illustrated by Nicola Hooper. Once there was a cow that swam out to sea. Her name was Matilda. Matilda lived on a very quiet farm, maybe a lot like this one. The farmer milked the cows. Then the cows walked back to the paddocks and ate grass. Occasionally they said moo. Matilda, however, was a curious cow. She often looked up at the mountain. What was behind it? Sometimes she walked down to the river. Where did it go? She did not expect she would ever find out until one day it began to rain. It poured. Water cascaded down the mountain. The wet cows turned their backs to the rain and grumbled, moo. Cows don't like to get wet. They hoped the rain would stop soon. Matilda had never seen the river so high. She ambled down to look at it. There she is walking down to the river. Then suddenly there was a roar. The cows looked up. A wall of water came pouring and hurtling down the mountain. The cows said moo. The water gobbled at the riverbanks and spilled over. The cows watched it amazed. They were safe. But Matilda was not. Curious Matilda was on the riverbank. The water snatched her up. In a second, she was swimming. The other cows ran backwards and forwards in alarm, calling moo, moo. But the farmer was snug inside his house and he couldn't hear her. Moo, Matilda called desperately. Poor Matilda. Oh, there she is in the water still. Matilda paddled frantically in the rushing, splashing, hustling water. She was soon very tired. Then a great mass of tangled branches and logs and waterweed swept up beside her. Matilda thankfully heaved herself onto it. The river kept rolling on. It rushed and splashed and hustled under a bridge, by a town, through paddocks. It was all very interesting for a curious cow. It was like being an explorer. There's some curious cows here today and lovely little babies. The river grew wider. It began to get dark. Now Matilda was in a city. She had never seen a city before. She tried calling for help. Moo! But everyone in the city was inside, out of the rain, of course. No one heard her. There she is down the bottom, in a big, hustling city. Cities are busy places. Oh, except one person. A little boy looked out of his bedroom window, high up in a tall building. A cow, he said. The little boy shouted to his mum and dad, look, in the river, there is a cow. They came to the window, but by the time they reached it, Matilda had gone. They didn't see her, only the little boy did. Still the river spread wider until Matilda could not see the banks. She was all alone in a great, wide darkness. How far would she go? Matilda worried. What might be under the water? Uh-oh. That's all the things she's thinking that might be under the water. I hope not. I hope she's okay. The massive waterweed bobbed on through the night. Matilda was afraid to go to sleep, and she was very hungry. At last the sky glowed golden, and Matilda found she had come to rest on mudflats near an island. Grass, thought Matilda. She stepped eagerly onto the mudflats. At once her hooves sank into mud. Icky, thicky, sticky mud. She took a step. Slop, glop. Matilda managed 2 more steps. Then she was stuck fast. Oh, do you like this story, do you, Cow? Have you ever been stuck in the mud? Whatever is that? Someone said. A little girl and her grandfather were walking along the beach. Moo! Roared Matilda. The little girl and her grandfather waded out to Matilda. Hello, Cow. How did you ever get here? The little girl said. Together they helped Matilda pull her legs free of the icky, thicky, sticky mud. They guided her through the mudflats. Matilda went straight to the green grass and took a great mouthful. She said gratefully, moo. Oh, there she is. When Matilda had eaten some grass, the little girl and her grandfather took her to their home. Their yard had beds full of flowers, big and bright and delicious. Yum, yum, yum. Oh, my flowers, said the little girl's grandmother. But she's so hungry, Granny, said the little girl. Poor cow, where could she have come from? Matilda had a tag in her ear. This might tell us, the grandfather said. It looks like a phone number. How clever. Most cows have tags in their ears, in case they get lost. Crikey, said the farmer. You have never got one of my cows. That's nearly 100 kilometres away. Matilda was famous. Her picture was in the newspaper. The farmer said it was a long way to send Matilda back. You can keep her if you like, he said. Really? The little girl said, and she hugged Matilda. Would you like to stay? Moo, agreed Matilda. What a happy ending. Now, every day Matilda eats the green grass and sometimes the flowers. Uh-oh. Matilda is not so curious anymore. She never wants to go exploring, and she never wants to go swimming again, especially out to sea. There she is, leading Matilda around on the beach, it looks like. What a beautiful story. This was the cow that swam out to sea. Make sure you come into your local libraries and you might be able to borrow one of these stories to take home to read at your house. Thanks for listening.